I'm standing outside the Cayuga Heights Village Hall following tonight's meeting of the Board of Trustees.
And that brings us to the privilege of the floor.
Tonight, a resident asked a question about $275,000 that had been allocated in a proposed budget at the time that the village's deer killing plan was put forward.
Out of the budget of approximately $1 million for the proposed deer killing program, $275,000, more than a quarter of the whole $1 million budget, is slated to go to a Cornell researcher to carry out vaguely specified duties, the details of which are unknown to the public, who will pay the bill.
The response of Mayor Supran to this question was odd in that it suggested that the question was somehow either inappropriate or somehow inexplicable.
Could you walk us through this since you created it? These are exactly your numbers.
Yet the monies referred to were publicly discussed by Trustee Robert Andolina in an August 24, 2009 board meeting. This meeting was attended by then Trustee Kate Supran, who also chaired the very committee that developed the deer killing plan. In response to a Freedom of Information request in October of 2009, Cayuga Heights revealed the proposed budget for the deer killing program, which also clearly documents the existence of a proposed $275,000 to be paid for, quote, modeling, tracking, study.
A PhD from Cornell does the modeling, the population modeling, the infrared tracking, the studying of the movement trends and all that. That's a $50,000 a year cost.
I'm not sure I understand Ms. Stein's comments about the budget. At this point, no program has been approved by the board. And the only money in the budget at this point in time is very tentative. There's been no $275,000 approved by the board for anything at this point in time relating to deer remediation.
It's hard to understand why this figure was not acknowledged or explained by Mayor Supran, especially given that the proposed budget of Cayuga Heights deer killing program has been publicized in the local media, which noted its estimated $1 million price tag, along with a potential 5% tax increase for residents.
So I would just like to know specifically what that $275,000 is going to be used for and why. I'd also like to know why the details of the Cornell research proposal are not available to the public.
15 seconds.
Thank you, I'm familiar with this. This assumes, of course, that there is a research proposal.
The concerned resident made reference to a meeting between Trustee Bob Andolina, Kate Supran, Village Treasurer Jeff Silber, and Cornell researcher Paul Curtis. Interestingly, both Silber and Mayor Supran vigorously denied their participation in such a meeting.
In that regard, I can either address in my report or not, but I do need to read something into the record on that. Now or
whenever you feel
okay, I just mentioned I was not at a meeting discussing a research contract with Cornell, with Paul Curtis. I do have a conflict with in that I do work for Cornell, dealing with research agreements, and as a matter of course, do not address them due to that conflict. So there may have been a meeting, but I was not at that.
Nor was I at a meeting discussing the research portion with Paul, or contract with Paul. Anyway, on to the next portion of the meeting.
But according to the village's own records, these officials did attend a meeting with Paul Curtis that pertained to the draft budget for the deer killing program. In this correspondence, dated November 30th, 2009, the village clerk writes, in reference to your Freedom of Information request of November 23, 2009, asking for proposal and or correspondence describing and or detailing costs, responsibilities, and work to be carried out by Cornell University, Paul Curtis, or their affiliate subcontractors in connection with the proposed deer remediation plan, including but not limited to that described as modeling, tracking, study, and sterilized deer, and the draft budget associated with the draft deer remediation plan. No records exist regarding this information. On September 9, 2009, the issues you are referring to were discussed in a face-to-face meeting with Trustees Andolina and Supran, Paul Curtis, and Jeff Silber. There were no written or electronic minutes taken at this meeting. Clearly, there is more to this story than meets the eye. Many citizens are troubled that local government officials are unable or unwilling to substantiate the basis for large sums of money connected with this controversial program, and equally serious, why two village officials deny attending a meeting that is referred to in detail in the village's own correspondence issued in response to a Freedom of Information request. Perhaps in the days ahead, Mayor Supran and the trustees will offer the public a more detailed explanation for this latest controversy in Cayuga Heights.